Hello, you awesome people, and welcome to our next live webinar, or you might be listening to the recording. It is great having you join us for Edward's favorite high return and low cost marketing strategies, and it's obviously being presented by myself in this forum. Welcome, it's an absolute pleasure having you here for this webinar experience, and tonight is actually part of our new webinar series where we're taking a different look on things. A lot of my webinars used to be very theoretical in nature. And a lot of people just came back to me and said, Ed, we don't want theoretical. What we want, Ed, is that we want you to tell your story. What has worked for you and what hasn't? And exactly as the name implies, I'm here to talk to you wonderful people tonight about the strategies that I've employed that have helped bring me lots of clients and also bring my clients lots of clients. Now, one thing that's very interesting about all this, and I sort of think it's quite interesting, is that some of the cheapest, lowest cost stuff that I've done has given me the most amount of clients, which has just been fantastic. So one of the big things I want to share with you is the nature of this webinar. I'm giving out some general education right here tonight. If you've got any questions, please ask me. If you want to run something by me, you can email me. You can ask me in this live webinar experience. Just so I make sure that basically it works as this. I'm teaching general educational principles. It may or may not suit you. Just talk to me. We can sort everything out for you. Everything I'm teaching tonight is life revolutionizing in nature, because if you get more clients and make a shitload more money, you are going to be so much more successful. And that is a good thing. Everything we're talking about tonight is to help you grow, succeed, and prosper. I want you to get more clients. I want you to be satisfied in what you do. And I want you and your family to enjoy the journey. Totally here to help afterwards. Feel free to stay at the back at the end of the webinar if you want to talk, have a bit of Q&A. Or please ask questions during the webinar. So the more questions you ask, the better off it will be for everyone. So please, please, please ask questions. Now, just quickly, there's a few people on the line which I know, and a lot of guests tonight who I haven't met yet. Welcome. I'll just, you probably have seen my videos out there, and just give me a quick little bit about me. I'm an ex-military federal agent from a long time ago, corporate marketing director. And over the years, I've helped hundreds of small business owners and entrepreneurs succeed. Had an amazing career, and it totally crashed when I was 30, which is part of my story, which was quite funny. And I always tell this joke. I've slept in the Hilton and on business class flights, right through to park benches and my car in my life. So I've been up there, down, and it's been awesome ever since. When I crashed big time, things have just totally turned around for me for the better. I succeeded very much corporate-wise in my 20s. I was a little bit troubled, but a lot of the suffering that I went through in my life coalesced into a purpose of me helping other people. And it's much easier when you're a Christian. It helps you flow through things very nicely. I also do a lot of charity work too. I'm a Knight in the Order of St. John. I do some work with Paramount Mission and the Salvation Army. But that's not enough about me. You guys can research me online. Google Edward Zir and you'll see lots of stuff about me. I'm here to talk to you and give you ideas to help you kick butt. Now, the whole point of this webinar is obviously low-cost, high-returning marketing strategies. And the thing that I think was quite funny is when I sort of was putting this webinar together over the weekend and I was sort of reflecting back on what I've been through, I realized there was this one point where I had no money. I had absolutely no money whatsoever. Now, as a Persian Christian, most Persian Christians I know, especially then, freaking loaded. And I had no money, and it was very out of character for me. And the thing that I wanted to do was create a brand new successful life for myself. And the question is how? It's like, okay, that's great, Ed. Like, I'll just be straight up with you guys. If someone's got anyone with heaps of money can market really well. Well, actually, that's not completely true, but you know what I mean. If you got 100 grand in the bank, it's much easier to go marketing than if you have nothing in the bank. So the point I'm making is I had no money, and how am I going to get my business off the ground? Now, what I found was that at the start, I had so much information, and I know it's a common struggle for many of my clients. There's just an overwhelm of information. There's, rubbish on the internet. There's webinars on Facebook telling you how you're going to make 100 grand by the morning. And I just found there was this massive overwhelm of information out there. And it was just so overwhelming. You just don't know where to start. Now, one thing I did work out was that the best place to start was business networking. And in hindsight, that was a very good move. The reason why it was a very good move was that it gave me a chance to meet people, explore ideas, see what is BS, see what is the truth. And I tried everything at the start. I tried everything from, different sales techniques to different type of marketing strategies to attend different events. And a lot of them didn't work. Probably about 2/3 of what I did didn't work, but a third to a quarter actually did work. And as part of this journey, it was about critical self-assessment. So the one thing I've found as a marketer is that a lot of people have trouble being critical and self-assessing themselves. And this is where the whole positive thinking comes in. It's like, oh, things aren't working out. So people, and this is a strange pattern that people get in. Things aren't necessarily working out. So people enter the strange pattern of just being really positive. Oh yeah, my market isn't working, but I'm not going to talk about that because I'm just going to be positive and it's all going to happen. Absolutely not. It's about being critical and having a strong sense of self-assessment about what we're doing here. And the more honest we are about things, the easier, it really becomes. And this is what it comes down to. Depending on your marketing strategies, depending on what you're doing, if you're, let's say, investing in marketing strategies that cost a lot of money, like I once put on a seminar which cost me $6,000 to run. Now, I did make a lot of money out of that. But the issue is that whenever we're putting on seminars or events that cost a lot of money to run, or whatever marketing it is, it puts pressure on us for it to make a return. So in other words, if you spend nothing, it's very hard to lose. Yeah, sure, you have the opportunity loss if you stuff something up. Now, if you don't know what that is, an opportunity loss is that the time you've wasted that you haven't made money, basically, which has a very high cost to it. What I'm getting at here is the lower cost you keep your marketing and the more intelligently you do it, is the much greater the profit potential, which means you can grow your business. Because here's the reality, I've done this before. I've done marketing strategies where I've spent $5,000 in marketing and it's bought me in $5,000 worth of sales, which means I've basically haven't made any money and I've worked my butt off for that, okay? So it's very important to think about things in a profitability respect. Now as well, please get your questions through on this one. These are my favorite top 7 strategies, and I'm doing this a little bit differently. Instead of having heaps of slides and hitting and boring you to death by PowerPoint, what I'm doing is I'm actually going to talk through more my experiences of each of them. And it's going to be very dependent on the questions you ask me. So please, please, please ask me really good questions. And just so you know, I'll say hello here. So everyone should have seen a little hello come from me to them for live members of the webinar. And I want you to ask me lots of questions to keep it moving. So let's go through it. And I'm going to shoot these things pretty quickly, unless I think something's important or if you ask me a question. Business networking. This is going to business networking groups. Now, to this day, I'll completely swear on business networking. But, and here's the big but, and this is where very, very few people have actually nailed this. And it was quite an interesting opportunity that we found. It's very easy to go to a lot of networking breakfasts and events and think that you're some kind of savvy networking and making a lot of money. That couldn't be further from the truth, because the reality is a lot of networking events are full of great people, but especially the startup events, or events which have people which are mostly startups, quite often those people don't have a lot of money. They're not established. They may not have the connections or influence that you need. Now, I don't mean to be... No, I'm getting a lot of, hey, Heath, hey, awesome Heath Thompson. I'm getting a lot of agreeances here. Now, I don't want to be negative. I'm going to sound a bit like a snob, but I just got to be straight with you guys. I love startups. I help startups all the time. I work with them in my business. It's the favorite thing that I do. But from a pure business networking viewpoint, you got to be careful that you're not going to the wrong networking events. Now, I used to do that a lot. I used to go to a lot of the smaller breakfasts, and I used to have a lot of smaller businesses. And business networking is good in the serious events. So I've found personally that business chambers are outstanding. I'm based in Sydney, and I'm on the committee of Parramatta Chamber, which is basically the big chamber for Western Sydney. And I'm also in the state and federal level, New South Wales Business Chamber, which is full of absolute movers and shakers from across Sydney. Now, the reality is this. And this has undone a lot of business. In fact, I had a really good client. I don't think, they're not on the line tonight, but they know who they are and they know I think they're awesome. Really good client that I'm working with. And I won't mention who it is or imply, but what they do is they produce amazing quality physical type of products. And the whole reason their business was very average and they're barely scraping by was because they weren't selling to the right people. So I know this is a common problem. A lot of people, especially the ones on this line tonight, now a few of you here, you can totally turn around your business and get the results you want just by going to the right networking events. So in my experience, business chambers, I don't mean the little little business chambers of suburbs, but the more bigger state level chambers are good. And you got heaps of things like, you got AmCham, American Chamber of Commerce, Israeli Chamber of Commerce. Please don't get caught up in those breakfasts. And I did that. And don't get me wrong, I think attending the breakfast for a good year or two is good, but it reaches a point is, at the end of the day, you've got to be networking with people with money and influence. Money, so they can give you money when they hire your awesome services. But be influence. They have the connections. They can refer you work. Now, equally the caveat to this, you've got to be equally awesome so they respect you. So business networking, it does very low cash cost, very, very low cash cost. Let's say it might cost you, a year's membership at New South Wales Business Chamber of $650 and it gives you 10 free events. It's not a cash cost thing. It's a time cost thing. But in terms of low cost, business networking is very low cost. There's no question about it. Depending on what you do, you might go out and pick up a client that pays you $2,000 a month for 12 months, 24 grand. Not a bad night. And so that's the way I tend to look at it. Oops, went too far. Of course, please ask me any questions. Facebook video and blogging. Now, I've got two different strategies in here, and which are kind of related to each other. So the first one, of course, is, you might have seen me do this on Facebook, is I'm actually putting videos up on Facebook. Now, where Facebook has changed a lot, and it's free, by the way, basically what has happened in Facebook is Facebook has gone through a radical amount of change in the last 12 months. Facebook, what I found a lot of clients have found is that ad campaigns used to work really well a year ago on Facebook, and not really anymore. The actual quality and performance of ad campaigns has absolutely diminished over time. The simple reason for that is that there's so much content on Facebook and things have changed a whole lot. And people are finding that, including me, that ad campaigns aren't as good as what they used to be. And the good news is that putting to videos on Facebook is free. Now, the reason why I sort of advocate video, and I'm not making this up, Facebook has been very heavily pushing video functionality because A, it's in direct competition with Google, YouTube. So basically what I'm getting is this, and I'll just use this as an example. I don't want to get too technical, but I still got to make this point because it's very powerful, really powerful, really powerful. Let's say you got 1,000 likes on your Facebook business page. If you put up a bit of text, if you put up a link to a blog, you might get 1%, you might get less than 1% views. You might get 10 people who see that post. But if you stick up a video, you might get 200 of that 1,000 people actually seeing that video. So video, due to Facebook's algorithm, gets so much more mileage on Facebook. So what I suggest with that is do a video. It's quite arduous. It depends on your business. But I've been suggesting to a lot of clients, do a video a day and do a video about you talking about your business, giving tips, being helpful and that sort of thing. Anyway, this is a whole topic on itself, but Facebook video is great. You can also upload them to YouTube as well. Personally, I'm not a massive YouTube guy. YouTube generally favors very high production quality, but it is fantastic. So Facebook video, love it. I do it all the time. And I wish I did it more heavily earlier on. So a great strategy. And the frequency depends. Like if you're a person on a mission, do 5 a day. It's, again, this isn't for everyone. However, a lot of people can keep up with 1 a day or 1 every second day beautifully. And it's great because, you might do a video. Let's say 50 people watch it. That's great. And it costs you no money. You can do it to your business page or your personal page. But just be wary putting it on your personal page. So that's that one. Again, I could talk for days on Facebook video. Great strategy, free, it's awesome. And you can also back it up with some advertising too. So again, another conversation, but very good. The other one on the right is blogging. We've got the awesome Liz Olds from Contours in that image. I wrote a blog about her. Now, what blogging is basically writing articles of interest. And generally speaking, you might put the articles on your website. You might put the articles somewhere else. Basically, you're writing articles of interest just to share them out there. And I love blogging. I tend to share my blogs on Facebook, on LinkedIn especially. I might put my email newsletters and that sort of thing. And the idea is giving out information that educates people and entices you. Now, the big thing that I haven't sort of really mentioned formally as part of all this is that when you think about marketing, and this has been a big shift in my own consciousness with it, please don't think you're going to come up with this killer post that is going to make you millions of dollars. It takes multiple exposure and a long time to build an effective relationship with someone, be it online or offline. And basically people have to see your stuff for a long time until they really trust you and really get into you. And that's what I've found. And it depends on what you do. Like if you're selling more of a tangible product that stands for itself, it's different. But if you're selling your own skills and ideas, it's very different, very, very different in that regard. So that's just something that I've found really important, what I've been doing. And the other thing as well, the strategies work together. So for example, let's say you're putting out Facebook videos, blogs, or you're blogging on LinkedIn. Blogging on LinkedIn is very good. People might see that and then recognize you at a business networking event. So this happened to me a lot. I'll put stuff on Facebook and then someone will recognize me at a networking event. So I'm already ahead in the conversation. So I want you to also think about how all the strategies kind of stick together as well. Number 3 is email marketing. Now, this is one totally underrated strategy. It's free, right? You can use if you pay MailChimp, I think for lists under 1,000, it's like $15 a month or something. But this is you can use it for free. And basically the beauty of MailChimp is one of the world's well-regarded and largest email platforms, which I personally use and highly recommend. And basically it's this: you get permission from people, you add them to your database, and you send out a regular newsletter with information. Now, that's the strategy. There's not much more to it than that. Now, the reason why you do that is because let's say you've got 200 people in your database, which a lot of people do. A lot of people have around that. I personally got about 1,300. A lot of people have 200, which is great. When you've got, let's say, 200 people in your database, if you're sending a regular email every fortnight, you're staying connected. It's awesome. It works great. It's a great technique. And the trick is the 2 to 3 rule. You might have 2 to 3 bits, which is free information, and 1 part selling. Same goes for Facebook too. In fact, I'll just make that point here as well. Same for LinkedIn. If you're pumping out, let's say you're putting out a video a day on Facebook. You might do 2 days in a row, which is just information, then 1 day, which is selling something. 2 days information, 1 day that's selling something. The reason being, if you just sell too much, you'll just burn out people, which is not good. So, I definitely don't want you doing anything like that. So, there you go. Oh, whoops, wrong key, my bad. So, email marketing, great strategy. Please get into it, okay? And just for the record too, you'll notice in this email here, I have got I haven't in this one, but what you can do is you might write a really good blog article that sits on your website. You stick that in your email. So people open your email, click it, then go to your website. The deal. Works really well. Number 4 is partner networks. Referrals are free. Giving referrals to your friends, your trusted friends and allies is free. Equally speaking, getting referrals is free as well. So what I'm sort of getting at here and advocating is that basically, it's as simple as this. You make friends with people that sell complementary services that you don't compete with, and you refer each other work. So, for example, Martha in the middle builds websites, a technical specialist. I'll refer web work to her. And ironically, Mark Hyde on the right helps people set up webinars and does public speaking. And, if someone, let's say, needs some real technical help, straight to Mark on that one. And that works really, really well, and I find this is a very good strategy. And awesome, we've got a first question in from the awesome Kai Yan. Welcome, Kai. I'm sick at writing emails. What to do? Yeah, now it's a very good point actually. Kai Yan's given a very good question. A lot of people ask, saying, "Ed, what on earth do I don't like writing emails. What on earth am I going to say?" What I normally recommend is keep it simple, keep it easy. Now, this is why, see that email there? I don't know if you can read it all. There's actually not many words in it. Let's say you're a mortgage broker. It's got the awesome Heath Thompson line. A very good email is when the interest rates go up or down, you release that to your database and give some commentary on it. Great example. Let's say you're a marketing mentor like myself. You might learn something about Facebook and you put that in as a tip on your email database. Let's say, hypothetically, you're the awesome Rod Sanchez, who's an acupuncturist. You might put information on natural health in your newsletter. Now, you might think a very common objection here is, oh, Ed, you're just giving out free information. That's stupid. How's it going to sell anything? Well, it's a good point. Usually what I like doing is when I do an email, I might have, let's say, 2 items which are just free information, and the bottom one is an invite to do business with me. So basically that. The reality is if you just send out an email to your whole database every fortnight saying buy my stuff, it's not going to be a good experience. But if you give away free information, then at the bottom you say, hey, buy my stuff, that generally works quite well. So it's a very good model. Give away 2 bits of free information to 1 bit of paid content. Beautiful, mate. Works very well. So yeah, what you can do is as well is if you are having trouble writing your emails, just keep it simple. And remember, sending an email, this might sound a bit funny, but doing a live webinar or sending an email, it's really actually no different to just talking to someone. So I found a lot of people, and I used to do this as well when they do their marketing, is people think, oh my God, I'm writing a newsletter, I'm doing a webinar or a Facebook video. I've got to be so clever. I've got to script it. I've got to make it sound awesome. And yeah, I get that. I'm all for getting out quality, but at the end of the day, the way I'm talking to you awesome people in this webinar, I got one hell of a turnout tonight, and great having you all here, is that I'm talking to you like I would talk to one of you, okay? It's no different. When I'm writing a newsletter, it's just me talking. So keep it real, keep it natural, and you can keep it very simple. And the idea isn't writing War and Peace, because the reality is if you make your emails too long, people just don't read them. So something to be very mindful of. So hope that helps, Kai. But if you've got any more questions, please get them through. And everyone else too, please get me your questions. Now, with partner networks are just fantastic. They're really good. Refer business to each other. So if you're in a very common relationship is mortgage broker and financial planner, mortgage broker and real estate agent, business coach and marketing mentor and website developer, marketing mentor and graphic designer, website developer and hosting company, acupuncturist and organic health food supplier. Okay, now it's testing me, but you get my drift. I just got brain freeze then. There we go. Now what's a good one? And now Rod's questioning me. Okay, you're an acupuncturist. So let's say you do acupuncture and you do Chinese herbs. And let's say it's all you do. You literally stick pins in people and you do Chinese herbs. What are possible referral relationships can you set up? It could be with open-minded doctors that have a healthy respect for natural health that will refer you their clients, which is a good thing. It might even be as well thank you, Rod, physiotherapists, exactly. If you're an acupuncturist, you might partner with a physiotherapist, personal trainer, Rod saving me, the awesome Rod Sanchez. Everyone Google Rod Sanchez, cool guy. PT is a good example, actually. And actually, there's a good one there. We've got the awesome Heath Thompson. Now all the suggestions are coming in. Heath Thompson's a very cool guy, and his awesome wife does Isagenix, which is like a health food, that helps you lose weight and stay healthy. And it can be very common. An acupuncturist, let's say, Jetta's listening too. Hello, awesome Jetta. Hey, I'll give you an example, and we'll use. So Rod Sanchez is the acupuncturist. Rod Sanchez might talk to the awesome Heath and Jetta Thompson, who sell Isagenix, and Isagenix is a very good health food product that could go well with Rod Sanchez's awesome practice. A very other common relationship too is PTs, personal trainers and acupuncturists, or even PTs and doctors, also PTs and physios. So you're sort of getting where I'm going. So basically, when you go out business networking, it's not just to meet clients, it's also to pick up potential partners. Now, what I always say, and this is a bit you would really want to listen to, you want a good five. I always say you want 5 really good partners where you do lots of business to each other. Because the thing that I find is when you try and say, I want to manage 30 partners, it gets too thin. I've always found about 5 is the right number. You have 5 really good partners that you work really closely with, and you refer work to each other and support each other and that sort of thing. The reason being is that if your partner network gets too big and thin, the referrals just drop. Because, let's say, most of my websites go straight to Martha. Okay, in fact, probably all of them go to Martha, except for some specialty websites which would go to Mindarc, which Martha would not want to do. She would not be interested in. And in that scenario, if someone, let's say, needs business coaching, marketing sort of help, it'll head my way. So that's the way you want to look at it, okay? So something to really think about. And thank you, Rod. Thank you, Heath and Jetta and Kai, for all those great answers. And I had brain freeze, and Rod, you did save me. I owe you one. But you get what I'm saying. You'll get what I'm saying. Think about who you can partner with and send work to each other. Great strategy. Great strategy. 5 is speaking at events. Now, speaking at events is one of my favorite marketing strategies, which I highly recommend. It's worked very, very well for me historically. And when you're speaking at events, basically is this. The idea is that you're leveraging yourself. It's one, speaking to many people. Now, I've spoken at many events in my time, and it is a great strategy because when you actually speak to people at events, it does several things. A is the power of leverage. So let's say let's say you're part of a business networking group and you speak in front of 20 people, or you approach an organization and you get speaking gigs. That's a whole other conversation, by the way, getting speaking gigs. But basically, it's this. When you speak at events, it does several things. A, you get the power of leverage. If you're speaking, let's say, for 1 hour to 20 people, that's the equivalent of 20 hours of conversation because it's leveraged. The other side of it as well is it looks incredibly credible. It sounds funny. You look incredibly credible. What I mean by incredibly credible is that if someone is speaking to you, if you're an audience and someone's speaking to 20 people, they're the expert. It's not natural to assume they're the expert. Only experts speak to a group of people. So what happens is the more you speak at events, your image actually changes as well, because instead of someone thinking that you're just a punter, they'll see you as a real leader. So 2 things with public speaking. You look good and you get that volume. And whenever I speak at a group of people, 20, I usually get a client or 2. Because people just approach at the end and want to talk to you. So great strategy, highly recommended. Again, can spend I have done webinars on just public speaking. Now, just one quick thing I do want to just check in. I've got some questions in from the awesome Kai-Yan, on. Hey, Edward, and I'm just paraphrasing for Kai. Kai asks, hey, Edward, what is the best way of building trust with each other when you meet a new potential business partner? Very, very good point. Let's say you meet someone at pardon me, have a bit of mineral water. Oh, that's better. What it is that a great way of building trust with a new potential business partner is, firstly, I find seeing how you connect with a person. So if you meet someone and let's say you don't feel right about it, you just don't get along with them, usually the best thing that I would recommend in that situation is that when you do that, basically, it's this. Is everyone losing me? That's no good. Is that no good? Are you losing me? Stand by, everyone. I'm just going to try one thing. Hang on. Hey, awesome people. Do you read me? Hey, awesome people. You guys got me? That was strange. That was a Telstra issue. That happened once about 4 webinars ago. All right, we're back. Hey, thank you, guys. That was really good. All right, sorry I lost you guys. That must have been awesome Telstra doing some sneaky stuff. So I'll just go back a little bit. Awesome Kai-Yan asked me a great question. When you meet someone, the first thing you need to do is build trust with each other, okay? And in answering Kai-Yan's question, to me, the first thing is, do you click with that person? Do you get along with that person? Do you really resonate with that person? Because if you meet someone and you don't get along well with them, I would severely question whether you want to work with them or not, okay? But let's say you meet someone and you're complementary in nature. That is, you don't compete. And you like each other, you get along great. What I usually recommend is maybe have a few meetings, have lunch a few times, and then someone has to actually send a referral some way. So if I, let's say, meet a new referral partner, I will get to know them, look at what they're doing, and I'll test them out with a client. If they do a great job, there's more to come. And likewise too, when they send me work, I want to make sure I do a good job and there's more to come and that we're all compatible. And it doesn't always happen. Does not always happen, because I once had a really good referral partner last year who actually sent me quite a bit of work. But the problem is that her actual clients were too early in business, and A, they had trouble affording my rates, but B, they couldn't keep up with what I actually said because they were too early in the business process. So she stopped referring me work, not because she didn't like me, not because I wasn't brilliant. She loved it, but we weren't necessarily the right fit for her audience. If she had bigger clients, then absolutely, I'd be a better fit for that. So, and conversely too, sometimes I meet great people, but they're too slow in reacting, okay? So it all depends. It's good to test each other out and see how you go along with things. So Kai Yarn, also, just to let you know, Kai Yarn's an awesome marketing guy as well, and you can also send him to his live webinar. So there you go. So I hope that helps. Now, just in this image, this is a photo of myself and an awesome Vietnamese Australian woman by the name of Dai Le. Now, Dai Le was a journalist for years with the ABC, and she actually ran as a candidate in one of the state elections for Cabramatta as a Liberal. She ended up losing, but boy, she did the Labor guy lots of damage. And what was fascinating is that she is a publicist, journalist type of archetype who actually helps out a lot of women and works actually a lot in the Australian Asian community. And we have very different skills. So we're actually working together, and I'll be speaking at her events and that type of thing. So what I want you to really consider is think about the people you can work with and think about how it can all connect together. It works just great. So hope that helps. And so, yeah, great questions, Kai. I'm glad everyone can hear me now. It was a bit weird what happened before. And I'm just going to keep going. So please ask me your questions as you have it. Number 6, flyers, materials, and promotional materials. Now, we've got several different elements here. We've got promo goods, which can be things like coffee cups or pens, which you just give to people as cool things to impress them. You've got pull-up banners on the left. You've got flyers. You've got business cards. You've got corporate booklets and that sort of thing. Now, thinking about this from a low-cost, high-value point of view is, let's say you're selling your services, and let's say you're like me, you're a business coach, marketing guy, whatever, you're selling your services. Or even let's say you're a mortgage guy, and even though you're, let's say, selling loans that everyone else sells, you got to get across your credibility in what you do. A great thing to do, and it's very inexpensive, you can get a professional designer to do it, you can get someone on Fiverr or Upwork to do it, but get an actual professional flyer or little booklet or something designed. Now, it'll cost you a little bit of money, but the beauty is that, let's say it's just 4 pages. It's like an A3 card, folded, printed, so it's 4 pages. That's personally one of my favorites. Very low cost, very effective, cheap design. That is low cost and it's so powerful because several things. One is you can also have it as a PDF to email potential clients before you meet with them so they can get versed on you. And B, you can print out a stack of them so when you meet clients, you can hand it to them so they're more likely to sell. The other thing which I like is you can give them to your channel partners so your channel partners can physically hand them out on your behalf. So it's something very good. It's very low cost. And the thing is, I'm blown away actually by the amount of people that don't have really good sales material. It will take a little bit of work. Oh, no, it's not actually that much work. It will take a little bit of work, but once you've got it, it is absolutely beautiful, absolutely amazing. So highly recommended. I do highly recommend having this. Now, if you do want to go a little bit up market, the first place to start is obviously you need your business cards. If you're speaking at events, get a banner. They're not very expensive. It's depending on what your strategy is and sort of where you want to go with it. You might even get branded coffee cups, branded pens, and that sort of thing. Now, you don't need it. I'm not saying, like, if you said to me, look, Ed, I'm really on a budget. What do I need? You got to have a business card and you got to have an information, flyer or booklet about you. I would say that's non-negotiable. Whereas things like banners and coffee cups, I would say are a bit more negotiable. But basically it doesn't cost much. So what I do is if I meet someone, I'll give them a coffee cup. That coffee cup will cost me $10. And yeah, it cost me $10. I might spend about, let's say, $100 a month on coffee cups. Let's say give away 10 of them. But it's awesome though. People love it. They get to know me. They get to remember me. And it's just cool. And little things like that can really help your conversion rate. So something that I highly recommend. And of course, this isn't for everyone, but running free events can be a great strategy. Now, I want to talk a bit of interest about this one. 2 types of free events. There are webinars, which is a great strategy. Now, the fact that you're listening to my webinar means it's a good strategy. So I personally use the GoToWebinar Citrix platform. It costs me $150 a month. You got platforms which cost $50 a month. So you can run webinars, and I run ones every fortnight, and they're just fantastic. So I really do highly recommend them, okay? So webinars are just great. The other thing you have are actual physical live events. Now, when you're running physical live events, there's several things to be mindful of. And I've actually lost a bit of money, not lost, but broken even a lot. I've made money overall, but I've overspent money on running live events. Now, what can be tricky is that I love running live events. And we've ran some very, very good seminars at the Novotel, such as the Profitable Marketing Forum. And the last one we ran cost us $3,000 to run. Now, the beauty is that it cost us $3,000 to run it. We're running one. We are running one in Parramatta in mid-February, and we're doing it in partnership with Parramatta College. Now, Parramatta College, which is in Western Sydney, have their own premises, and their challenge is bringing people on site. And basically, what we're doing is we're running a Profitable Marketing Forum at their premises. They're marketing it and filling it for us with a bit of our help. And basically, instead of us paying $3,000 to run this event, we are running it for free. And it's just amazing. So what I'm getting at with running free events is that with a lot of events historically, I used to pay a lot to run events. And look, I've made a lot of money out of events. Don't get me wrong. I'll usually get enough sales from the event to break even in a month. But what happens is that when you're running your own events and you're spending, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 here and all that, it can get a little bit annoying. So one thing that we've really nailed is two things, and this is the bit I really want you to listen to. If you want going down the free event path, we've actually found the smaller the event, the more sales you get. So I've run events where I've had 100 people and I've, let's say, picked up 5 clients, and I've run an event where I've had 20 people pick up 5 clients. And we've had a lot of discussion about there's a big I'm actually going to do a webinar on this topic. We've had a big discussion about it, lots of debates, and basically this is the consensus not about our group has come to, and I really do think this. When you run a really large event, it's quite natural for your conversion rate to fall a little bit. And the reason is because you can't spend as much one-on-one time with people, and you've got to be a lot more general. And you're more caught up in crowd control than you are actually talking to people. Now, if I think of people who do really well out of events, and including myself in changing the strategy, what we love doing is we've actually found 10 to 20 is a great size for events. Great size. Because when you have 10 or 20 people in a room, you can focus much more on them. You can deliver a much more intimate experience, and you get a much higher conversion rate. So a lot of my mindset has changed over the years. So I used to be very much, over the couple of years, I used to be, oh my God, I got to get 100 people in a room. Then I want 200 and I'll make this. No, we actually went the other way. Now what we do is actually run fortnightly workshops through our Profitable Marketing group. And we have anything from 5 to 20 people, and it's great, and it converts really well, and it gives good information. So what my advice is that when it comes to running free events, I've worked out how to do it for free, how to do it for a really low amount, or do it for very low cost. And my advice is if you're going to go down the free event path, which depending on what you do, I do suggest it. It does work in a lot of areas. Like if you're in the isogenic space and the health goods, you can do, a free event on that, and on health, you can have a great speaker. If let's say you're a website character, you can do a free event on how to build a high converting website. If you're in the finance industries, you can partner with a property person. You can do all sorts of great stuff. And the beauty is that when you run a free event, the idea is you give away really useful information and have a really good speaker. So both are good. My big learning lesson though is free events can cost you a lot of money if you're not careful, but if you can put them together in such a way and use sponsors and that sort of thing, so it costs you no money, great model. Great model, fantastic model. So there you go. Just a few honourable mentions, and then I'll do a wrap up. These are some other honourable mentions too, which I've found have worked really well from a low cost point of view. A quality website. It's not completely low cost. A quality website might cost you, let's say, a couple grand at least, right? You can do it cheaper, but let's say you spend a couple grand on a website. I know it's not exactly low cost, but the reason why I want to put the website in there is once you've done the website, upkeep's pretty light, generally speaking, and that website sells for you 24 hours a day. So it is very good. So I do highly recommend that. Again, it's not quite low cost, but I suppose what I kind of mean there is, you got to pay for the website, but once you've got the damn thing, it's pretty good after that. So give that an honorable mention. Hey, awesome, Rod Sanchez. Yes, good websites. And just so you know, if you are starting out and you are tight for money, and you can't afford like a $2-3 grand website at the start, my take is just scratch and save and make it happen as soon as possible. Because I remember not having a website. And it sucked because when you don't have a website, it's just not that professional. It's very hard to say, oh, I'm a professional and trust me. Where's your website? We don't have one. It doesn't really cut it. So just something to be mindful of. Good to get that right. But my take is just save up and scratch around, which is what I did. Facebook advertising. You can do really well on Facebook advertising for about $10 a day. And you can spend that, let's say, usually to grow your Facebook community, and then you put videos on there so people see it. Or you can do ad campaigns. So Facebook advertising is very good. I usually recommend $10 or $20 a day. It works really well. Right now I'm doing I used to do about $50 a day on Facebook. I'm actually making more money doing $20 a day because I'm doing a lot of videos now. So I've actually really improved my strategy. My Facebook advertising will be going up soon, but I'm in no extreme rush to do it. It's actually working really well. And that's just one thing I want to cover off while I'm doing the honorable mentions, is that I used to have it in my mind that, like on Facebook, for example, if I spend more money, I will sell more. No. Wrong strategy. Wrong. What's been right hasn't been spending more money, but producing better content, which is free. So something to be mindful of. LinkedIn Premium. Love it. It's fantastic. Highly recommend LinkedIn Premium. I've been doing it from day one, actually. From memory, I think I'm still on the $30 a month package, which I don't sell anymore. It's one of the original packages from 3 years ago, for $30 a month. It's very good, LinkedIn Premium, because with LinkedIn Premium, you get the premium badge, you look good, it's high quality, and you can use it to contact people, and it's got really good search functionality. So LinkedIn Premium, highly recommend it. Now, again, I'm more of a Facebook guy these days, so I certainly have, I suppose 1.75 feet in the Facebook camp now, but I still use LinkedIn quite a bit. I usually log into LinkedIn a few times a day. So I really do enjoy LinkedIn, but again, I'm more of my way my business life has grown, I've become more of a Facebook guy. But that's very good. And we've got a question from the awesome Jenny Bassett. Jenny, pleasure having you here. It's an honor having you on our webinars. How do you measure your conversions from Facebook to videos, though? Absolutely fantastic question. So just as a recap, the awesome Jenny has asked, okay, Edward, I'm just paraphrasing here. Okay, Edward, you're pumping all these videos a day on Facebook. That's great, Ed. How do you know what actual conversions are coming in? It's actually quite good, because usually what I find is, even with my awesome marketing vault, people don't just usually buy it if they don't know me. So almost always, be it someone buys an online product or they want to, let's say, hire me as their marketing and business mentor, what they will do is they'll contact me first. And that's when they just tell me. People will just tell me straight up, say, hey, Ed, just want to say, I love your videos, been following them for a while. Look, my name's, this actually happened by the way, my name's Tina from, Miss Luscious Lashes. I've been looking at your stuff and I'm sort of interested in what you do. So Tina, one of my awesome clients, who's not on the webinar tonight, she owns a beauty salon and she's got a new one coming. She actually found me through watching my Facebook videos and sort of becoming a follower that way. So people usually tell you, and what I recommend is, people usually voluntarily tell you, it's like, hi Heath, I've been watching your videos. If people aren't telling you, there's nothing wrong with asking them, hey, by the way, how'd you find us? And people will just tell you straight up and say, oh, I saw your ads on Facebook, or I saw your video on Facebook. So that's the way I like to do it. So that's why I know it's working. Pleasure, Jenny. I like you, Jenny Bassett. You're a cool operator. So it's always great having you here. Yeah, it's very good, because the thing I want to say, and this is, I suppose, I probably should have been more direct in this, but it was definitely implied, is that the whole point of tonight's webinar was talking about low-cost, high-return marketing strategies. So tonight, I suppose, I've actually been talking about profit, not sales. I find too many marketers out there don't even think about profit. They're all just obsessed with sales. Now, I'm not going to give away any identities, and this person knows who they are. They're on the line tonight, but they're going to listen to the recording, and I just wanted to say that you know who you are, and I think you're awesome. Basically, what happened was they run we'll just call it a service business, and they had someone, and they haven't got a lot of money, right? They've got like 3 children, they live in the western suburbs. They don't have a lot of money. They're renting. Great people though. I don't mean to pay them out. They're very good people, and give it a few years, they're going to be freaking loaded. But just being reality, that's just what they are. Someone was trying to sell them a $2,500 a month package to SEO their website and send them all these leads and all this rubbish. Now, here's the reality, right? That $2,500 would be coming out of their home loan. They'd be borrowing that money to pay it. And 2, if let's say you're paying $2,500 a month for marketing, let's say, you got to sell probably at least $5,000 worth of stuff if your margin's 50% just to break even. So the reality was, the way I talked them out of it was, besides the fact that they would go broke doing that, the way I talked them out of it was just simply saying, look, just to break even, just to pay for the bloody campaign, you're going to have to get this many sales. Is that going to happen? They're like, no way, this is going to happen. So what I did instead is I put them in the direction of the New South Wales Business Chamber. It's going to cost them $650, I think it's that, to join for 12 months. That'll give them at least 10 events for free, and they can go pick up a client that'll pay them $10,000, no sweats. They're really good at what they do, really good at what they do. They were just being given really bad advice. So that's just something to be mindful of. And another honourable mention I have here is personal selling. Now, personal selling, depending on how you look at it, I've always seen, and a lot of people have opposing views on this, to me, personal selling is a marketing strategy. Sales is part of the whole marketing cycle. Now, a lot of our sales are meant. I'm a part sales guy, part marketing guy, so I don't care. So there's sort of two sides on this one. The general marketing guys see sales as a function of marketing, and the sales guys think marketing is printing out pretty pamphlets and marketing sucks and all that. Now, I'm just purely in the middle. I'm a very center view on that one. I think sales is a very important part of marketing, and basically is that you need to work on your personal selling ability, and that's free. You can watch stuff on YouTube to improve your sales ability, and it's something you can build for free. So the reality is that let's say hypothetically your sales, and this is actually mine, my old sales results, I would, let's say, used to pick up 1 out of 8. So if I met 8 people, I'd pick up 1 of them. These days it's a lot better. These days it might be 1 out of 5. Yeah, well, usually it's 1 out of 5 these days. So that's the way it goes. If you can increase your conversion rate, it's really good. Hey, you got some great feedback from the awesome Kyan. Kyan's made a good point. You got to learn how to sell first before you can sell on a webinar. Love your work, Kyan. Yeah, thank you. That's a good point. Learning how to sell is very important. So just something I want to mention. So there you go. They're the main ones. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick wrap up. And as I do a quick wrap up and talk about how I can help you on that sort of thing, if I'm not already, I just want to do a quick wrap up, but please get your questions through as I wrap up the webinar. Now, we spoke about 7 top sales and marketing strategies. Number 1 is business networking. Please don't hang around the breakfast when no one's got any money. Please go to the serious events where people are loaded. Believe me, I learned that the hard way. So it's very good. By all means, nothing wrong going to the breakfasts where you're surrounded by awesome people and they're all like-minded and all that. But just be advised that you're probably not going to make a lot of money there. Again, if you're going for personal development, please do it. If you're going there to make money, no, you got to hit the chambers and the more serious events. Number 2 is Facebook and video blogging. Get into it, love it. If you're not into Facebook, that's great. Don't do it. But if Facebook is something that suits you, please do it. It's very powerful. Blogging is very good too. I like both strategies, and they're both quite similar. So writing physical articles as well as blogging. Very good, very low cost, and highly recommended. 3, email marketing. You might just do 1 a month if email marketing is something that you're not the best at. 1 a month's very good, and a lot of people can sustain that. So highly recommended. 4, partner networks. If you don't have any decent partners, go out and find some. That's where the business chambers are very good. And as I was just recapping before, you might go to a business chamber and you'll meet someone who's not a potential client, but you can refer work to each other. Speaking at events. Usually it's hard to pick up speaking at events at the start because you've got to get to know people. But basically the way it works in speaking events is as you get more known and you integrate into business chambers or networking groups or whatever, you can pick up speaking gigs. In fact, I'm due to pick up a few more this year too, but great thing to do. Usually I find speaking events is as a result of being popular. As you get more popular, people naturally invite you. 6, flyers and sales material. The coffee cups and pens and all that are optional, but business cards and pamphlets, in my view, are critical and non-negotiable. Pull-up banner, debatable. That's debatable, but definitely business card and brochures, non-negotiable. Running free events, make sure that they're free for you. Probably in hindsight, I've spent too much money running events, whereas I found really good win-win sponsorship models make it a lot easier. And just as a recap, few honorable mentions. A website does cost money, but once it's going, it's good. Facebook advertising laws, $10 a day, LinkedIn Premium, and personal selling. So there you go. These are some of my favorite top strategies. Hey, if you've got any share, please type it in and I'll tell everyone. There's a lot more to it too. These are just some of the main ones. But what I'd love you to do is take one of these ideas and go for it. So get planning, get into it. I don't want you just learning tonight. I want you learning and doing really well in your business. Now, just very quickly, quick, awesome sales pitch from me. I won't bore you guys, but just cutting to the chase is I'm a very savvy business and marketing mentor. I love helping awesome entrepreneurs and also work with a lot of corporates too in teaching life revolutionizing marketing strategies. Why is it life revolutionizing? Because you make lots of money, you'll change your life, it'll be awesome. Two quick things. Check out my website, excellencebub.com.au. You've got the Awesome Marketing Vault, which is my personal knowledge base. It includes unlimited email contact to me, Facebook group, plus heaps of videos of top strategies. Highly recommended, just $97 a month. So it's really good. Just to let you know, credit cards coming out on it too. So it's been PayPal all along. It's going to have PayPal and credit cards. So there you go. Oh, and Jenny Bassett, you're awesome. I'm going to read out a comment. That's awesome, Ed. Love your work. Throwing back, you're always my words. Yeah, Jenny Bassett, you're awesome. So it's always good having you around. I'm really honored to have you here. Anyway, check out my website. You can learn heaps of stuff about the Vault. I won't put you to sleep with it now. But no, great content, great information. A lot of these webinar recordings, even though I do release them publicly, they end up in the Vault archive. So it's a great way to go. And plus, a lot of people who sign up to the Vault, they stay connected to the Vault, and they just ask me questions as they go along. So check it out. It's at my website, excellenceabove.com.au. You can't go wrong there. And of course, as well, if you want to work with me personally, check out my website. Go to the mentoring section, and that's where I work with you one-on-one quite heavily. We might have regular sessions, and it's my job to be part of your team to help you win. So, yeah, anyway, I love what I do. I've been doing this for 5 years now. I've been a marketing director for years, but in terms of a business, I've been doing it for 5 years. So it's really good. I'm quite honored. Oh, and just one quick thing just to mention on that one. I'm very strategic or very tactical. So some clients hire me for more the coaching type of work, such as Ed, hold me accountable, keep me focused, where some hire me for the pure marketing. Edward, help me write this damn thing and get it good. You know the deal. Anyway, so check out my website. Love to help you guys more. And there you go. I just want to thank all the awesome people who have asked questions. And I want to thank XCOM, Spock, Eric Cartman, Vault Boy, Gordon Ramsay, Martha, and everyone else who of the images that I've used in this fine webinar. So full image credit to everyone. And there you go, awesome people. If you've got any questions now, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to call it a good evening. And I just want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for being part of this. If anyone wants to stay back and talk, please let me know now. Otherwise, I'll let you guys go and enjoy your weekend. And just for the recording too, this is the day before Australia Day. So very exciting. My website's there, excellenceabove.com.au. Hey, also as well, while I've got you people here, I'd love it if you can share my stuff. So of course I love being hired. So please look at my stuff and consider hiring me. So I love being hired. But let's say if not, that's cool. That's cool. I'd love you to share my stuff. If you see my stuff on Facebook or my emails, I really appreciate when you people share. So the more shares I get, the faster my business grows, which means I can help people more. So there you go. No questions. I'm going to do the 10 countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, we're done. Kyan, hey, there we go, blast off. Thank you, Kyan. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Heath, Rod. You people are awesome. Well, I'm going to stop. I'm just going to just say, before I forget, the recording will be emailed out to the whole database tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So you'll get the recording then. If you don't get it, just tap me a line and I can just forward you the link. So it won't be a problem. So it'll be on my blog and it'll go out tomorrow. Anyway, thank you guys. Have a good evening and we'll talk to you all later.